Hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. So lovely to have the chance to speak to you. Maybe you could kick off with a brief intro to The Odd Job Men. For people that aren't familiar with the film, can you give us a glimpse of what it's about?
Well, the film is about three plumbers, and when I mean three plumbers, it's three real plumbers with whom I have been working for 2 years. I wrote the script for them, and it's a film based on their real lives and showing how they get access to our houses. And in our everyday life, there's a lot of humor, and there's also a lot of drama. So it's kind of an approach to ordinary life, so that we can actually see that it's extraordinary but not ordinary.
And what inspired you to make a film about these three plumbers? Was it when a plumber came to your house, or you were like, what's behind the idea?
No, actually, it all started because my stepfather is a plumber. And when I was a teenager, he was all the time explaining during lunch what happened to him when he got into this old lady house, and then people invited him to tea because maybe they felt so lonely, and then some others had prejudices regarding workers, so every day he came with new situations that seemed that I think it talked a lot about human relationships and prejudices between workers and clients. So that's where I decided to write a film about this context.
And can you tell us a bit about kind of how it sits within genre or the style of the film, kind of mixing, documentary with fiction, let's say?
The genre of the film is extremely strange. I mean, I haven't seen any film like this one. That's why it was so difficult to make it, because it's in between documentary and fiction. But usually when we work into these hybrids, we are seeing a lot of social films, which is also social film, but it has a lot of humor. So it's a comedy with real plumbers with a fictional structure. That's how I could like it.
And what can you pinpoint some of the moments that were most challenging on set, and also some of the highlights, kind of having to work, I guess, with these three plumbers, and trying to still steer the narrative, let's say, the making of it?
Well, it has been a huge challenge to work with them. It's my third film with non-actors, but I wanted to go further in their possibilities. They actually won the best prize for actors in Locarno while they are not actors. So we spent 2 years preparing them to be in front of the camera, and then when they come to the shooting, everything was a surprise for them. Let's imagine they are invited here, you have something to fix, maybe the air conditioner, they don't even know what's happening. So I have a plumber in my own crew. So they have to do as if it was real. So it's a challenge for a film crew to work as we were doing kind of a reality, but in film, let's say. It was kind of trying to find a structure in the production work that it was different, and just for this singular film. Probably the most difficult on set has been to work with the emotions of the two main characters, because it's based on how one of them is very racist and he doesn't want to accept the other one, who's from Morocco. So I had to work through a lot of emotions so that they could understand that this is a film, but at the same time to have very real feelings rising in front of the camera. It was about giving them a lot of trust and making them feel that it was a safe space to react however they wanted.
What do you hope that people will take away from the film? Because as you've mentioned, it does hit on a number of different themes there, like classism, kind of prejudices, but then it's also got a lot of humor and it's very funny. So, what do you hope people will leave the cinema feeling?
I hope people leave the cinema with a smile in their face, and I've seen that already here in London. People thanking me for making a film that leaves you with hope, let's say, in human relationships, especially at a time that we have been dealing a lot with isolation. Individualism has has aroused a lot during the pandemic. It's like we have to keep being isolated. So I think it's a film that let us think about how we treat each other, but at the same time from a light perspective, and feeling that it's possible to make it better.
And would you say there's anything that makes it your films very specifically not just Spanish but Catalonian? You know, like
Yeah.
it's a very, very distinct area of Spain. And how much does your film maybe hit on things that are particular to that region?
Yeah, there's one particular thing that it's only happening in Catalonia, which the plumbers actually, they do everything. They fix electricity and gas and everything. So that's why the translation of the film is the job man. It's not only plumbers, but the guys that are fixing everything that is broken in your house, you know. So that's very particular from Catalonia. And then, of course, the other things that we speak Catalan, and we have a quite bilingual society. And I wanted to show it in a very naturalistic and non-conflict way, because that's the way I live it. Like, we can actually speak both languages and being very happy and proud, you know, to have at least two languages, because then it's bereber and the language from people coming from abroad that actually enriches, I think, our society and how we think. And that's why also I gave Mohammed, the main character, this goal of learning Catalan, but also bringing his language on the film. It's also a way of giving value to diversity, also in a linguistical level.
And just finally, how does it feel to have the film here at London Film Festival and for there to be so many other female filmmakers? It feels like we've turned a corner. There's just such a variety of people telling stories now.
Let's hope so. I don't know the numbers of how many women filmmakers have been screening their films here in FBI. So I would like to check the numbers, but not of the festival, but the whole production. At least in Spain, we're still far away from the 50% in the directing roles, and really far away from having the same amount of budget for making our films. So we have to keep struggling for that.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was lovely to speak to you and really enjoy the rest of the festival here.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Cheers.